Sorry, I have to sneeze.
Okay.
Do cut
Take
this out.
care.
Huh? No, I don't have coronavirus. I just have to sneeze. I get allergies very easily. I was like controlling sniffling for so long. Hi guys, welcome to the Career Coach podcast. This is a show where we talk to some super cool people who've had some very, very interesting academic trajectories. Today we're talking to Trisha Agarwal. And Trisha Agarwal is your typical overachiever, I have to say. She did very well in SSC. She went on to do ICSE, and she holds today one of the most coveted degrees in India, which is your chartered accountancy. She is after that she's done a couple of summer schools with LSE, and now she worked with Ernst & Young for a bit, and now she's working with a boutique firm called Catalyst. And I think you have a really cool, I read your introduction, I've stalked you on LinkedIn, Trisha, and you have a very, very interesting career trajectory. It's really inspirational. It's a little intimidating, I won't lie, but I'm so excited to have you here and talk to you today.
This is a student-administered program. Our aim is to offer information from other students who have recently graduated. None of this information is to be taken as advice. Nobody in this video or in the team is a guidance or career counselor, nor are we experts in the fields which we have chosen. We do not intend to look down on any career or academic path and hope these stories will be taken in the spirit in which they were said. Our experiences are personal and cannot be universally applied. We hope this video is helpful to whoever watches it and it equips you with some relevant insights. Enjoy.
So just to start, I want to ask you about your 11th and 12th, just before we get into it. Whether you took science, whether you took arts, and what was your experience with that? Considering you're a topper, many toppers are pushed into science. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
That did not happen with me. Honestly, my parents are very supportive. So there've never been people who will push me or my brother to do something specifically. So after I passed out of 10th standard from Felix, from SSC, and like you mentioned, I went on to ICSE after that. I went to Bishop's Junior College for my 11th and 12th, and that time the two options for me were commerce and arts. I've always been interested in reading, writing, and so literature and psychology has always been very interesting to me. So that was one option, and the other was obviously commerce. Economics and everything was also really good. And you know how everyone talks about you can easily shift from commerce to arts, but the other way around is like not that easy a switch. So I went in for commerce, and I chose commerce when I went to Bishop's Junior College, basically.
All right. And so did you immediately have an affinity towards accounts and towards, typically business studies and your typical chartered accounting subjects?
So in 11th and 12th, we had accounts for the first time. I hadn't studied it till 10th standard, and I had a good set of teachers, which I'm really like glad about. And economics was always good. Commerce, so basically my subjects in 11th and 12th were economics, accounts, mathematics. I took maths, which helped a lot later, and literature, language. So accounts was very interesting. It took a while to get used to it because it's not like the other subjects you study in school. But yeah, it was nice. I liked it. I didn't like fell in love, but I liked it.
So cut to you get done with 11th and 12th. Obviously, because I'm a commerce student myself, I know CA is one of the top options when you are considering, So, but just choosing to do CA, how did you make that decision? Was it influenced by parents?
No. So like I said, my parents have not ever said this is what you should do. They've always been like, what do you think? And let's take it from there. More like you lead the way and we'll guide you wherever you need it. So I ended up topping Bishops in 12th standard, which I was really not expecting coming from an SSC background. And then I was like, okay, maybe commerce is something to really think about. I shouldn't really jump to psychology right away. But that was my second option. So the first option was something in commerce. Now BBA and all looked something very I don't know, it looked like I wouldn't be making the best use of my time, and I would not be doing as much as I could. And CA, as my cousin sister, my first cousin was doing CA. She was giving her finals that time. So I spoke to her. I found out about all the options that CA opens up, and after my final exams, my last board paper, I had 2 days to register for the first level of CPT. for the first level of CA, which is CPT. So I had to take a call in 2 days. And I thought, okay, the exam is 2 months later. At least let's give this exam a try, and then we'll see where it goes. So that's how I enrolled myself for the first exam of CA, and I took a crash course for the first level.
Can I just ask you some structural details about the program that is CA?
Yeah, sure.
So, firstly, I know for a fact that you have to do it with another undergraduate degree, like a BCom or a BBA. But even apart from that, the first level CPT, more details about that.
Okay. So, you don't have to do CA with a bachelor's. You may or may not do a bachelor's. It's like a personal choice. I know people who've also not done any bachelor's after 12th and done only CA. Yes, but that sort of closes all doors for you if you ever want to pursue a master's in future, even down the line. So, not something. Something to really think about, considering the consequences. CPT is basically the first level of CA is an MCQ test. It covers your basic economics, basic maths, accounts, and it's only an entry level exam. So the exam is based on whatever you would study in 12th, ideally.
Achha.
Coming from ISC 11th and 12th, most of my syllabus was covered.
I see.
CPT syllabus was covered in ISC. So had I not been from Bishops, I think I would have a hard time, and maybe a crash course wouldn't have been ideal. I would have had to spend 6 months to a year preparing for CPT. But ISC helped, so I could do a crash course. Classes really helped. They give you a good concept clarity, and they also help in practicing all the MCQ. So the crash course really helped, and the exam was like a 4-hour exam. I think you have a tiny break. So 4 sections, as far as I remember. There's accounts, economics, maths, I think, quant basically, and okay, there is one more section which I'm forgetting, but yes, there are 4 sections.
No problem. Yeah. After CPT, you clear CPT. What next?
Okay, so you clear CPT in June, which is also the time when your 12th standard results come out, and people start thinking about their graduation. So this was when I had to decide what I want to do next. I passed CPT, and I thought I wanted to continue with CA. So that was I was sure about by then. I was like, okay, I don't feel like shifting or doing only a graduation now, so I'm going to do a CA. And I considered doing a BA in psychology with CA. So traditionally people do BCom.
Yeah.
I was always interested in psychology, and I thought I could juggle between the two, and I thought about it. I spoke to a lot of seniors, and it did not look feasible because after CPT is your second level of exam in CA, which is called the IPCC. Now IPCC is a year later. So I gave my CPT in June 2015. In May 2016, I would have my IPCC. After that, you're supposed to intern for 2.5 years, and I had my final exam in 2019. So that is so basically it takes 4 years to do CA, and that is the pattern. You study for the second level, then you intern, along with which you prepare for your third level. So with this, I mean, obviously it's not an easy course, which meant that I couldn't just attend classes and get done with it. I would have to put in some amount of preparation from myself, and then eventually manage my CA final studies with internship. So I thought about whether I wanted to do BA in psychology, but I didn't think I could manage the two or give sufficient time to either. So that is why I thought that I'll continue with BCom, since BCom has a lot of subjects which overlap with CA. For accounts and everything, you've already studied some for CPT, which you tend to
Correct.
BCom. So that is why I applied for BCom. I got into BMCC. There I did my BCom, and along with that I did CA. So I started preparing for the next level, that is IPCC, in August. July, August is when classes started. It's like a 9-month, you have a year, so you spend approximately 9 months in classes. Again, this was during my time. Now you have a lot of video classes, and patterns have changed, but more or less the same. Basically, you study for a few months, say 6 months or 9 months, as you plan your classes, and the rest of the time you're at home preparing before the exam, and then you give the exam in May.
Correct. The first test is CPT, which is just an basic entry level test with MCQs. Generally, if you're a commerce student in 11th, 12th, you can easily get through that,
Yeah.
especially ISC background. After that, the second level is IPCC, and after which you're supposed to do a 2.5-year internship, which is called articleship, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, articleship internship.
Correct. And after that, you give your CA final, and then you officially become a CA.
Yes.
Awesome.
So actually, the internship is for 3 years. That's what they say. So whenever you start in 2000, after your IPCC, 3 years from then is when your internship or articleship will end. But you get approximately a 6-month period as a study leave. So that is why you effectively intern for 2.5 years.
I see. Makes sense. Absolutely.
So, just one point before we move forward. I know a lot of people who did science in their 11th and 12th and then did CPT and went into CA. So it would be tough to manage the transition, but it's not impossible. Obviously, you can't like give yourself only 2 months and do a crash course and then prepare. You probably need a little bit of more time, but yeah, it's possible. Yes. One thing that I didn't mention was IPCC and CA final exams are actually divided into 2 groups. So you have 8 subjects, and these are divided into 2 groups of 4 subjects each. So you also have a choice to appear for one group at a time if you don't want to give both the groups at the same time.
Correct.
So CA exams, IPCC and finals are held in May and November. So you could give one group in May, one group in
and
November.
Another in November.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do the entire thing at the same time.
Right.
Which I think is an option that a lot of people go for because
definitely.
you don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense.
But there are advantages. Like when people really get into the course, they'll find out that when you give both the groups together, so to pass the exams, there are two requirements basically. First is out of 800, which is the total score of all the subjects, you need to score 400, and then in every subject you need to score a 40 plus. So the advantage of giving both the groups together is that you can together get 400 instead of getting 200 in 4 subjects.
Correct.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah. You get the advantage of the cumulative.
Yes. So that's generally referred to as the set-off benefit, which is what you get if you appear for both the groups together. So in fact, in IPCC, I got a 1 mark set-off. So my group 2 score was lower by 1 mark, which my group 1 made up for.
Oh, thank God.
So that really helped. So how I did was in IPCC, I appeared for both the groups together. You have subjects like accounts, you have indirect taxes, which that time was service tax and everything. Now it's GST. And you have direct taxes, income tax and everything. You have costing. You also have financial management. And I think that's all of the subjects that you study. So like I said, CA gives you a very broad spectrum of knowledge. You could get into any field post your qualification. Then you typically start applying for your internship after your results are out.
Correct.
For you to be eligible to intern, you have to clear the first group necessarily. So a lot of people start their internship and then study side by side for the second group also.
Acha.
That's all.
And just about this internship, so do you get paid for this internship?
Yeah, you do get paid. Mid-size and small-size firms do not pay you that much. Big Fours do pay you a lot more. And for all the students watching this, Big Fours is a term you'll hear a lot of times when it comes to CA. So globally, there are 4 big firms which are like the Big Fours when it comes to CA firms. These are EY, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte. So they're globally top ranked, like in terms of everything, their business and everything.
You said there are a lot of fields that you can enter, and there are a lot of career options that you can do even within the accounting sector.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe what you are doing also, but also what your friends and some of your batchmates are doing?
Okay, so I interned in audit, which is one of the most popular fields that CAs get into. Audit is basically sort of like you're basically a professional who has accounting knowledge. So companies hire you to check. I'm using this word very loosely, to sort of
Yeah.
check if you've accounted for the year's expenses and purchases and sales and everything
Correct.
correctly.
Correct.
That is what audit is, which is what I interned in at EY. And then a lot of people also go into tax. Now, taxes, direct taxes and indirect taxes as well. So you could, even in these two fields, there are a lot of options. So if you talk about
Correct.
direct taxes, you could be assisting companies to file their tax returns and do a lot of compliances, um, which are a lot. Honestly, there are lots of compliances when it comes to tax. Or
Absolutely.
you could be advising your clients. So that is what I'm doing. I am working at Catalyst Advisors in Pune, which is firm that advises clients when it comes to mergers and acquisitions, structurings, and succession planning. So
Okay.
to put it simply, companies do a lot of things, but sometimes they take very big decisions, like opening up an office abroad, or say, they have two lines of businesses. One is manufacturing and one is a service
Correct.
rendering, and say they want to separate the two and form a separate company for the services business. So this is where tax professionals like us come into. We advise
Correct.
them on what the regulations are, how you could achieve this, what are the compliances they would have to do, and what is the best way to achieve that, such that it results in the lowest tax possible. So now, one important field that I forgot is law. We study a lot of law in CA. So companies law, partnership, and everything, which gives you an insight on the legalities of how companies are incorporated, how they function, what is necessary and what is not. So that's
Correct.
another thing that you could get people get into. I know people who do CA and LLB. So
Correct.
that's a very good combination as well. So to answer your question, so that's another thing that you could get into. Then as part of the CA curriculum, you also study financial management. So I
Acha.
know people who get into finance then. Now, CA alone is a very good degree, but a lot of people study further as well. So, say
Correct.
you want to do something into finance, there's always an option to start to do CFA or some other course to complement your CA degree and get more ahead in the field that you want to.
Correct.
So that's
Correct.
obviously a personal choice. Usually, when it comes to audit or tax, you don't really need to do something more, because CA is like the ultimate course when it comes to tax and audit. If you've
Correct.
done CA, there's not much more that you need to do.
Correct.
There are people who do CA and stuff, basically do audit and accounting for global companies. So you could take a CA like degree from Australia or US or something. You get set off. So if you've done CA in India, and you could skip some of the papers that you would have to give
I
over
see.
there, because you studied that here in India, and then you can choose which other subjects you want to study and give over there. So say if you want to get into tax, you would elect and choose to study the tax in US and then get
Correct.
a dual degree.
So, given your knowledge and the background that you have as a CA, it gives you certain advantages to do certain degrees even abroad. It's not
Yes.
just because it's an Indian degree, it's so inherently an
Yeah.
Indian degree doesn't mean you can't reap the benefits of it if you live in another country.
Definitely.
Great.
The other interesting subject we study in CA final is costing. So this would basically help you to get into the manufacturing sector, or if you have a family business which is into manufacturing, this could probably help you. How
Correct.
just everything related to costing, how you cost a product, what you should keep in mind when you're pricing it, how there's a lot to costing, and it's a very very interesting subject. But yes, that's one thing you could get into. There's a different course, cost accountancy, which you could consider solely if that's your field, or you could do it with CA or after CA.
Just to talk about the kind of skills that you gain with a degree like CA, I believe that every degree gives you certain transferable skills. What do you think are the other transferable skills that you gained with your CA program?
Yeah, CA is some aspects of it are mechanical. One of the most important qualities that I learned was hard work and self-control and discipline and planning. So these are not one qualities, but this is like very important. All in all, it gives it just strengthens you mentally, because no matter how
Hmm.
much you study CA, it's the pressure. So it's a tough course. The pass percentage is low, and there is no way to get out of it other than quality study and knowing your material well. It's not something you can just ऐसे ही तो कम आके
Yeah,
निकल गए. That's not something that can happen here. So
correct.
it requires a lot of commitment even when you're in classes. My IPCC schedule was my classes used to start early morning at 6:30, and I had classes up until 5:36. It's like a full 12-hour day. And I used to have some homework for when I came home, or self study and everything. And then the last 3, 4, 5 months of study leave where you are just studying. So after all the classes, you're just sitting at home and studying,
My
not
God.
not really going out. Everyone does what works for them. Some people go off social media. Some people just don't step out of the house, which is not what I did. I was there on social media. I used to take weekly breaks and go out with my parents or my friends. But basically, it required a lot of mental strength. It required a lot of discipline, planning,
Correct.
how you're going to complete your syllabus before the exam, sticking to it, revising it when it doesn't go your way, and just all in all, not letting the pressure get to you.
Hmm.
And those skills are what that something that they just have changed me. They've made me a better person, a better professional, and that's always going to stay with me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I think that's really important. The discipline that a degree gives you, the discipline that a
Yeah,
course can give you, I don't think many courses can give you that.
yeah.
And I have seen people personally, my brother gave his CA exam and he decided to go bald so that he wouldn't leave the house. And people have taken those drastic measures, they
Yes,
can't,
yes,
if they're not as disciplined as you are. But I know what you're saying, and it's a really important life skill you need as an adult as well, I'm
yeah,
sure.
definitely.
um just moving on to your job today and the role
Okay,
that you have in Catalyst, can you just tell me what a typical day looks like, how you
okay.
work and what it is?
So we have a lot of different assignments. Since we're a boutique firm is basically a firm which specializes in a very particular niche area, and that's all the work they do, and that's what they concentrate in. So for us, that is restructuring, and um, my a typical day would be, suppose we get an assignment, we get to know about a client who say wants to get into business in any country. Let's say Singapore, for example. So we would typically meet with the client, find out about their business and how what they exactly want to do, and then we would go back and do our research. So it's not only tax that we advise on. We consider the laws that we studied in CA, obviously, companies law, FEMA, and all of that. So from all the angles, we would then find out what options are available, how the client could set up his business in Singapore, and
Correct.
what would be the tax consequences, what would be the legal consequences, what the entire picture would look like. And we present the client with options, typically through a PPT, and then the client picks which one suits his objectives and needs, and then we help the client in setting it up. So um, we get in touch with some advisors and tax consultants in Singapore. These people help us in setting up the structure, and then yeah, basically we help the client through and through. The work is tax, regulatory, a lot of research, because obviously I've not studied the Singapore law, but I cannot leave it completely to the tax consultants there, right? Like at the end stage,
Correct.
can't find out that okay, this is not feasible because this is not something we thought of. So we do have to have some knowledge, whatever we can gain. So it's a lot of research, lot of thinking, and this is where the creativity sort of comes into play, where you come up with new ways. There are problems, there are hurdles, like this cannot be done because of this problem. So how
Correct.
can we beat it? How can we solve it? Is there any other way to is there a better way or another way of solving this problem? So a lot of problem solving skills, a lot of research skills, a lot of articulation, because you have to present the options and let the client know what you're saying in a way that he can make
Correct.
a decision quickly,
Correct.
and he knows all the aspects that there are to it. So that's another skill that's sort of required. But yeah, a very interesting job.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense. I think CA, from what I hear from you, CA is a really interesting degree, and there are a lot of career options that you can pursue, a lot of super interesting paths that you can take.
Yes.
But you have to have the appetite to learn. You have to have the
Yeah.
appetite to study. And you have to develop it. I'm sure when you went into CPT, your appetite to study and your appetite to learn and your appetite to read was not as much. And over
Definitely.
time, as you know, became an adult and as you grew, and as the degree became a part of you and as the program became a part of you, you became more comfortable with it. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you for giving us all this information about your degree. We are going to put Trisha's LinkedIn in our description, so you can reach out to her, and she's so friendly. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer any of your questions.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to reach out in case of any queries. And thank you so much for having me here, giving me the opportunity to talk about my
How
course
sweet.
and whatever I've done. It was really nice. It was great.
All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, and for any more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you.